From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the Schmoes Know, this is Meet the Movie Press, roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Well, hello there. Meet the Movie Presses.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2015. Holy crikey.
I know. I feel like we're living in the future.
We are in the future now. According to Back to the Future 2, I came in on my hoverboard. How about you? Did you come in on the big bulldog one that Biff?
Nope. I drove a Volvo, a beige one. That was a Stanley Goodspeed reference, guys. Come on.
And welcome to Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network. Happy New Year. I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief for Schmoes Know.
Jeff Sneider, film reporter, TheWrap.com.
How the hell are you, sir?
Good. A little tired.
Me too.
Was out late last night at the Black Hat premiere. I met Chris Hemsworth, and while most people would think that meeting the sexiest man alive would be the highlight of the evening,
yes,
I actually got Michael Mann to pinch my cheek.
That would be...
So I'm not washing my face ever again.
Yeah, that would be my highlight, because I love that guy, but unfortunately I'm hearing not too many good things about that movie.
I mean, listen, I spoke ill of it the last show, I think.
Well, I thought not the only one.
It played a little bit better, actually, the second time, just without carrying those kind of big Michael Mann expectations into the theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's worth a look. I think all Michael Mann films are worth a look.
I think so. I mean, I love the guy, so, he's great. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I will go see the movie.
But otherwise, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Ready for my Patriots to win tomorrow. And,
good luck with that. I do not like the Patriots, so good luck.
Yeah, and I spent all week just kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Me too.
As the town migrates back to the office.
Yeah, and there was some good news that dropped that we are going to talk about. Because this is a Meet the Movie Press. So.
Sure. Do we have a hopeful news break this week?
We do not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got something better, though.
Yes.
Germain from Slash Film is here.
Yes, Germaine Lussier is here from Slash Film, one of my favorite websites.
Oh, one of the biggest.
One of the biggest.
We'll have him on in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, how was your break?
My break was great. Lots of relaxing. I'm reading How Star Wars Conquered the Universe. And it's a very good book about how George Lucas made Star Wars gets into the prequels.
Okay.
Ken Napzok, host of Jedi Alliance here, is pushing that book, and I recommend it for Star Wars lovers and film production lovers.
What was the best movie that you saw over break?
Best movie I saw over break? I would say The Babadook.
Okay. Good answer.
It's really good.
I didn't even realize I saw this on Twitter that it's an anagram for the bad book.
Yeah. Right? I get that. Yeah. I get that.
Or I don't know.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it a while ago.
It's one of my favorite horror movies ever.
Okay. I can't go that far.
I'm a horror nut, so Me
too.
Oh, you are, but it didn't do it for you, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. That kid, there was something about that kid I found really grating.
Well, he was good.
I saw The Mule and really liked it.
Yeah? Why am I not
This is the one where it's like an Australian crime thriller where a guy is carrying drugs in his ass and he gets stopped.
Hence The Mule.
And the cops, the judge basically tells the cops you can hold him for a week, and then you got to let him go, and he's got to hold his bowels in for a week. And it goes beyond the week.
Oh, God.
Great ending.
Yeah. I assume the ending is what is in my head, so that's good.
Highly recommended.
Nice.
So yeah,
and so you were back at work this week, dropping some exclusives that we will get to.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked an exclusive that you dropped that we will talk about.
Yeah, there were a few good ones. It was interesting seeing what all the different trades kind of came out with out of the gate.
Yeah,
what we've been holding for 3 weeks or whatever, because the 2-week Hollywood break, and then no one wants it that week before. Mm-hmm. So,
do you find in your experience that you're not really, and I see some of these people on Twitter and myself included, you're like holding on to things because really nobody's around to really look at it?
Right. No. Yes. And the reps, the people who the stories are about, they don't want the stories out unless everyone in town is there to see their success.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of delayed things, I just wanted to confirm, but Mark, you guys had on Schmoes No Movie Show Angus Sampson from The Mule.
We did.
A couple, so...
was I not there?
I don't know. Apparently not.
I was not there. That's right.
I just saw he got cast in something cool recently. Angus Sampson. I don't know.
By the way, Angus Sampson was on the Schmoes Know main show, and so you can go check that out at schmoesknow.com.
Look at that plug. Okay.
Woo! Oh man, I'm playing catch up.
Should we bring Germain on?
Let's bring from Slash Film Germaine Lussier to the stage. We have some canned laughter.
Applause.
Canned applause. We're not laughing.
Applesauce, because I've been watching so much Larry Sanders.
There you go. And Germaine,
not Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
welcome to the show.
$15, little man.
Slash Film is one of the best websites out there.
Thank you.
I source it as much as I can. I go there to check my news and usually just, check out what you guys are reporting on and then just report on it at Schmoes.
And filmmakers and actors read it a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like they I see a lot of famous people circulating those links from Slash.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of Twitter interaction with you guys. I think James Gunn is talking to you guys
once or twice. We'll talk to Edgar Wright, Jason Reitman. I mean, that's one of the things I didn't realize when I started with the site. I was reading the site before I started working for it, and then it wasn't until maybe a year or two in where I got a direct message from Edgar Wright, and I'm like, man, it's a cool job.
You've made it.
They're like, that was really, really cool. And it wasn't about anything. It's just like, hey, I actually don't remember what the first one was about. But it's pretty sweet. I like it a lot.
How long have you been there now?
This is the 5th year. I've been there since 2010.
Okay.
Wow.
So.
And how'd you get that gig?
Well, the long story short is that I was in New York doing internships at magazines. I graduated NYU. I was at Premiere Magazine, Us Weekly Magazine, and then I was at Entertainment Weekly Magazine. I was there for about a year, and I was really hoping to get that gig. I interviewed for about 15 jobs and got none of them. I was darn.
Yeah.
I worked at a newspaper. After that, I worked at a newspaper as an entertainment reporter for about 6 years, and I was like, journalism's dead. It's all online.
Right.
I'm going to move to LA and get into the movies. I moved to LA.
It's going to be in the pictures.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to move to LA. When we're starting a mailroom. And then I realized I was like, I don't have any of the skills to do any of this.
Oh, yeah.
So then I was like, let me just get back into sort of the movie stuff. And actually, Steve from Collider has been on the show.
Yeah.
He put a thing on Twitter and it said hey, I'm looking for writers.
Nice.
And so I messaged him, and then he was like, wait, this is really good. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, man. I have a lot of skills here. And so I started working with him, but it was just free, just sort of get my name out there.
Sure.
I met Peter on Slash Film on a set visit for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the first one. Or that Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Rise.
Yeah. And then we just hit it off, actually talking about posters and stuff. And he had mentioned he needed somebody. And I was like, I love the site, man. And boom, within a week, I was there, and that's what I've been doing. I've been writing 10 articles a day ever since.
And that's how I recommend, to our listeners who want to sort of break into this.
Yeah.
Write to your favorite webmasters. Contact your favorite websites. See if they will accept your free writing if you can string a sentence together. That kind of thing, right?
You got to be careful though, because on Twitter sometimes it can get creepy or weird. You hear from a lot of people a lot of times. I have people on Instagram who like every photo I put up. I'm like, that's not the way to do it, But then if you're cool about it, it's definitely cool. And I totally recommend if you see somebody like myself or Jeff or Mark or somebody at a movie or something, say hi.
Yeah.
And don't be weird about it. Just be cool and how'd you think of the movie, whatever. And it's totally great. You just don't do it every single time.
No, that's some
don't
really
look like the
advice.
Babadook.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because actually 3 of my writers were people that just kept interacting with me on Twitter, and I got to know them on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, I remember Erin is one of our writers from Canada, and she sent me something, and I knew her from Twitter. I'm like, oh, this girl's great. And then she could write a hell of a lot good. So she's on the site now, and another one of my writers, same thing. So very good advice. Schmovo, were you listening, taking notes? You better.
And one thing that you mentioned, that poster, you were talking to Peter about posters. You have an amazing poster collection. You've been in a couple of documentaries, right?
Yeah. Well, that's sort of my niche is I'm a movie writer, and I love movies and, geek stuff, whatever. I mean, I always
Geek shit.
Geek shit.
Say it, man. Say it for us all.
But for years, I've been collecting movie posters, but not just movie posters, like the limited edition screen prints that Mondo did.
I have a couple Mondos.
Yeah, well, I have hundreds. Yeah, so
can I come to your place?
You can watch a tour on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I literally, so yeah, I just started doing that, and I got into it right before it hit this crest, and Gallery 88 here in LA did this Lost show. and they were doing like every like week a limited edition poster about Lost right before the final season, and I got like crazy into it, and I didn't get any of the posters because they were so hard to get. Like, which now is like just a normal thing on like a Mondo drop.
Sure.
But I ended up going to the gallery. They had like a big finale at the gallery on Melrose, and I waited in line like 9 hours outside the gallery to buy it. And so I got the poster I wanted, and it cost me like $500.
What poster was it?
It's called The Crash by Eric Tan, and it was signed by Damon Carlton and Eric Tan, and I said Damon Carlton, but we know him, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was sort of like, I had already bought a couple Mondo posters like at events. But then I'm like, oh, they got these galleries here in LA. That's cool. And then like Mondo started doing more stuff, and then Gallery 88 started doing stuff with Mondo, and then they sort of broke off. And I was sort of writing about it at the time, and I sort of just kept collecting and buying stuff. And now, like, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but if you want, like, I think I'm the premier poster movie blog journalist there is, or something of that nature.
I think you do a wonderful job, that's for sure. And you never like go and resell Mondo posters. Like, you're not, because I feel like whenever I try to get a Mondo poster on the site, some asshole has bought it and it's already on eBay for like 4 times as much.
And then you get that's what happened to me with my ET Mondo poster. I had to go find it on eBay, and I mean this guy, then he didn't send it to me for like months.
That's the thing that you learn when you become a collector. There's like it's a crazy obsession for people. There are websites where people keep their stuff. There's websites where people flip stuff. That's what that is. Yeah. And but it's hard to be a collector as much as I do and not resell some stuff. Like, but I never do stuff that I get like in any way, unless if I get it on a drop, or if I just wait in line, I get it. I only buy stuff I love. And I love it and I enjoy it. But if after like 3 years I have the same poster on my wall, and like there's a new show every 3 weeks,
right? Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of it.
Do people give you posters as gifts?
Yeah, some of the smaller galleries, sure, when they start do that. But I try not to do that as much, because A, it fills up my flat file, and B, I really like to get stuff that I really love.
I don't even know how you have enough wall space.
I don't. I literally have, like, without exaggeration, 250 posters flat in a file that aren't on the wall.
You must,
and then at least, with a lot of smaller pieces, probably 250 on the wall.
You must be the poster frame stores like best
they love
customer.
me. They love
like,
me.
oh, Germain's coming in today.
That place on 3rd, that's where I go, because there's a $20 framing, and it's for the movie posters.
Sure. Yeah, it's good. That's good, but. Yeah, for like weird size stuff. I've done that for a lot of weird size stuff where you don't want to worry about like archival, and then you get into that, you get like, I need to get museum glass, I need to get it framed, and a lot of people are crazy about that. And then I have posters that cost me like $75, and they cost me $400 to frame. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. If in 10 years it gets faded, oh well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry. And granted, some of those posters are worth like thousands of dollars. So like.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can watch my tour on my YouTube channel, which is just my name.
Okay. You got to check that out, guys. And speaking of posters, I want to thank Germain for... we dropped something a few months ago. It was a while ago. That Drew Struzan is coming back to do the poster for episode 7. I want to thank you for being pretty much the only site to cover that.
Well, I saw it somewhere else, and I was like,
maybe somebody... Oh, okay.
Somebody else definitely posted it, and then I sourced it back to you guys.
Nice.
And... because you got to do that. That's another thing people don't do a lot. They're like, oh, it's on this site, and they just automatically do that. Sure. Do like 3 links back, guys. Yeah. And sometimes that reveals, we'll get back. I'm sorry. You just want to rant about this a little bit.
Go for it.
This is the biz.
I know.
This is the biz,
Safe
guys.
space, Germain.
Yeah, exactly. But there was like, man, I don't remember what the recent scoop was. It was some really you commented on it. It was a really stupid. Oh, the Ty Simpkins thing. People are saying like Ty Simpkins is going to play Iron Man in Iron Man 4, right? And so like I think I saw it on Joe Blow, and then you commented on it, and I was really mad because it was like the fact that you even mentioned it legitimizes it a little bit. Okay. Which so then I was joking with Russ Fisher, my colleague, about it, and I'm like, we're not going to write about this. It's garbage.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, everybody else had picked it up, and it was like, oh man. I was like, let me look into this a little bit. So look into it, and like people are sourcing these two stories. Neither side I've ever heard of. One of them that the most people are sourcing, it says like the article is the funniest rumor I've read this year is this, and I'm like, how are you sourcing this as a thing? And then people, I'm like, they were just looking for the link and writing about it. It didn't matter. And I'm like,
as long as someone else wrote about it, it seems to make people think.
And I started writing like a joke article about it, that same article, like this is a garbage thing. And then when I saw this other site had written that, I'm like, I'm just killing it. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't even make sense. Like, he's not a man. He's a boy.
He's a boy. Yeah, how old is he? 13.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't be in the role for like 6 years or something till after like Avengers 4. So like,
I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
No, exactly.
I think that he signed a multi-picture deal with Marvel. I think that most of the actors do. I'm sure we'll see him in another Marvel movie in some capacity. But I don't think he's going to be leading his own Marvel movie.
Narratively, it makes sense a little bit, because he's like a tech kid in Iron Man 3.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot more Robert Downey to go, and it's just it was so lame, and I'm like, just again, do the 2 seconds of research, guys. Like, come on, before just to get, I know like Iron Man 4 in a headline is really good.
Yeah, I remember my writer going, "Is this legit?" I go, "No."
Yeah, no.
Like I can't even wrap my head around it right now. So
I'd be embarrassed to email Marvel or Disney and be like, "Is this true?" And then like hear back from the publicist or the executive.
Do you think somebody did? Do you think actually somebody?
You know what? Maybe not.
Reached
because
out for comment.
I've reached out for comment. Like I reached out for comment recently on a thing we'll talk about in a little bit, which is the Batman vs Superman trailer. Warner Brothers doesn't talk about anything.
Right.
But I always give it a shot, and I figured that was marketing.
And that's the thing. You have to make the ask.
Yeah, exactly.
I've asked Marvel dumber questions.
Right. But you have to ask, and like the response I got basically sounded like, "Oh, it's the first I'm hearing of it," and that could be also like not. But it also at the same time, you're like, did nobody else even send an email to the publicist to ask what the deal is with this?
Yeah.
And it's unfathomable. I mean, but again, like sometimes if you guys write something, and you've seen you bitching about this before, if you or Deadline or Variety or ever put it up, I assume you guys already did the legwork and you guys have that legitimacy. And I'm not gonna follow up. Is so and so cast in this? It's like you guys got it. You guys got it. But if somebody else that maybe has even if I would imagine I posted a scoop, I would imagine somebody should follow up on that because we're a good site, but we're not a scoop site.
I mean, the Wrap is a little bit more transparent in its sourcing. Like Variety will just have its lead, whereas the Wrap will say an individual familiar with the project, or if it's really confirmed, we just say the Wrap is learned.
Yeah.
I feel so. Yeah, there was a matter of couching some early things, like Warner Brothers didn't sign off on that Jared Leto Joker thing. They were like, no, and I was like, yes.
And hey, it's true.
But speaking of Marvel and DC. Let's talk about the Ant-Man trailer.
Yeah, let's get into some of this stuff that came out, guys.
Yes.
What did you guys actually think of the Ant-Man trailer?
I like the first half of it. I like the emotion of it, and that's what I like from my Marvel movies. I like the character stuff. The action stuff, it didn't really do it for me, simply because I don't think anything's ready yet. I think they put out a trailer really early because they sort of have to these days. Fox, come on, let's do this. Desk floor. But yeah, so I like the personality of it, and I like the emotion of it. The action I didn't love, but I like the idea of it, and so I think as a trailer, it's not that great, but I mean, I like the property, and I'm excited for that reason.
Yeah,
Mark,
I kind of agree with you. I mean, I thought the tone was a little off for a Marvel movie. Like Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, and they establish the tone right away with that first trailer,
right?
And it was so well done that I got excited for it. With this, it seemed like it like the low music, and it's like building, and it's very dramatic, and then you have Paul Rudd like whatever, and there's and I laughed, but I felt the tone was a little all over the place. It looks beautiful. It looks like a Marvel movie. I'm gonna see it. I am excited about it. Just the trailer wasn't that great. Tone was a little off for me.
I completely agree with you. For a movie that's kind of billed itself as a comedy or one of the more comedic Marvel movies, it was a very heavy-handed or serious trailer. Which did you guys see the alternate thing on Hollywood Reporter or whatever? That
Can you believe how much the tone changed with just the music?
Right, it was just 30 seconds too. That was different or whatever. But yeah, it was a lot more fun, I thought.
Yeah, and that's I think what we're all maybe I don't know people what they're hoping for from Ant-Man, other than for it to be good and to forget about Edgar Wright leaving, but. He's funny in the comics, so I wanted a little bit lighter.
And you don't cast Paul Rudd unless he's going to be funny in any parts of the movie. And I also think it's important to note, like with the effects, that looked like the stuff that we saw at Comic-Con in July of last year. It might have been the exact same stuff we saw.
You have no idea.
You know, which they did with Guardians, but that was a little different. Where the first Guardians trailer was the Comic-Con trailer.
Yeah.
So when people are like, the effects look like crap, I'm like, dude, those were like effects that they did like 2 months into the shoot, if that. Like they were not had done anything.
I have my friend Chloe here in the studio today, and I showed her the Ant-Man trailer last night.
Yeah.
She just liked that Paul Rudd looks the exact same that he did 20 years ago. Basically.
Yeah, but a little more svelte this time.
Sure. Oh no, he toned up.
No, he looks exactly like
It's ridiculous.
his part in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
What does this guy eat?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks the exact same.
Well, speaking of Paul Rudd, I mean, and as well as him taking over and doing a draft of this with Adam McKay, how is that not in the first teaser? Like, you get none of that. You get none of that humor. This is a guy that wrote Role Models. This is Adam McKay and Anchorman. I mean, and I'm so excited for them doing a Marvel movie, but
I think they need to establish the character a little bit. I think. I mean, you don't want to. I mean, with Guardians, they were so out there. It was like, this is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Here, I think they want to show. I mean, the movie's about him and his daughter. I think they need to show that first.
That I liked.
Well, what I liked about the trailer was it was about heroes and changing the perception of heroes so that we're not thinking Captain America, Thor, these huge muscled guys.
Yeah. This is like a petty thief, it looks like at first.
Right, exactly. And so I like that idea that anybody can be a hero.
Yeah.
Even an Ant-Man.
I'll tell you what I'm a little worried about is that when Marvel did their big announcement a couple months back, they were like, no, Ant-Man's the end of Phase 2, but it comes after Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I'm like, that really seems like it's an afterthought. Like, how is he going to play into the rest of these movies? Like, I mean, I'm sure he'll show up in Infinity War or whatever, or maybe pop up in, literally pop up.
Well, he's got to join the Avengers.
Yeah, of course. He's one of the original Avengers.
He's one of the originals,
But just the way that it's slotted, like, in, after Avengers, but before Cap, but as part of Avengers, like, of Phase 2, is really weird to me. So I'm kind of curious how Marvel's going to deal with that.
So because there was some discussion about this. Is it Phase 2?
It's Phase 2.
It's technically Phase 2.
Yes.
Some people were reporting, I think us included, that it was Phase 3.
Originally. Everybody thought it was originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got. And then I heard somebody mention on the main show last night that there was the confusion, like they didn't know if it was Phase 2 or Phase 3 on the Marvel end,
Exactly.
and how they were going to tie him in. And maybe it is this afterthought.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about. I'm sure Marvel has a plan. In Kevin Feige we trust. But at the same time, the fact that it is Phase 2, it is technically Phase 2, comes out after Age of Ultron, is kind of this weird, gray area.
Okay. What else we have on the superhero front? We got Batman and v Superman teaser. What do we
unconfirmed.
What's the report, Germain? Fill us in.
I guess the rumor is, and it started on this new site, the Projection List, which is a really cool site with all these release dates that looked really good. That's where it started, and then our friend Umberto El Mayimbe came in and said that it's going to be attached to Jupiter Ascending, which is what they said on that site. And I don't know if he actually heard that from anybody else or if he just reported what that site said.
Okay.
It makes sense. It's about a year out from when it would be released. That movie could use some help, I'm sure. And
Jupiter Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending, and not Batman vs Superman. I mean, I hope not. And they already have a really good teaser. It's ready to go. So, you know what I mean? Like, we saw it already.
I saw it at Comic-Con.
Well, here's my question. I mean, you don't think that the Super Bowl is before Jupiter Ascending?
Yes.
So, are we thinking it's going to debut at the Super Bowl? No?
Maybe the Super Bowl next year? I mean, it's so far out if you do it now. It's March of 2016.
I guess
it's too far out.
There's
you can't
no
do
need.
it. It's not like you're not going to see. I don't think you're going to see Star Wars at the Super Bowl. It's too far out. Like, it's just pointless.
You think we're going to see Fantastic Four? Because that's the big.
Well, no. I don't.
You don't think we're going to see it?
No, I've heard that is not going to happen. I heard. No, you said you thought it was. I heard the Latino Review reported it, and I did some digging. I heard it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Which doesn't make.
They just don't want to spend the money on it.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
It seems like such a prime.
Do it. Like,
there's something weird about that going on. I mean, we already know that there's Fantastic Four 2 coming out. They moved the date around. So
moved it up.
They moved it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So moving it up, does that mean that they're liking what they see?
Yeah, I've heard that there's. I don't want to get specific.
I've heard both
yeah,
sides.
you've heard everything. But and I've seen you guys talk about it. But the one thing I heard that there's something with the thing they're scared about. They're scared about it, and it's very interesting and different. I can't really say exactly what it is, but like I heard there's something specific about the thing that they're worried about showing the fans. And
it's like they got to show it sometime.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like the movie's now in August. Like, whereas Ant-Man comes out like 2 weeks before it and just got a trailer. Jurassic World, Star Wars, everything has their trailers out. Come on, let's do this.
So that's interesting because when there was that leaked photo that happened around Comic-Con of the thing,
which looked great.
It looked awesome, and the fans really responded to that. And then I got a cease and desist from Fox to pull it down off the site.
Which means it's real.
Yes.
Yep. So I pulled it down, and then Josh tweeted it out. He's like, "Wow, it's already out there. F it. Here it is." And I was like, "Okay, we can put it back up." But the fans seem to really like the look. So why?
Yeah. Oh, it's something different from that. But
I mean, different. Okay. That was a red herring.
Again, rumor that I don't know for sure if this is just but that's what I heard. So I mean, once we see the first image, I can't believe how they giving him an EW cover. That's what they're doing with all this stuff now.
Yeah.
It's like give an EW cover, and EW will gladly eat it up as I would if I was them. And it's crazy.
I thought the Super Bowl really worked for Fox
totally.
and Trank's Chronicle. That movie got a huge boost from that Super Bowl spot. So I don't know why.
I think we're gonna get it's gonna be a lot of Universal stuff because Universal and NBC together. So
Sure.
Of course.
we already know Jurassic World. I'm sure we're gonna get Pitch Perfect and Fast 7 and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's some other news that has dropped, and we'll maybe steer it away from.
Yeah, take it away. Take it away.
I want to talk about, and this is something, a movie that sounds so awesome to me, and it's one of my favorite filmmakers, Alexander Payne, is assembling this insane cast for Downsizing. Yeah. So we got Neil Patrick Harris, we got Alec Baldwin, we got Jason Sudeikis, Matt Damon, and Reese Witherspoon reuniting, which I love because Election is one of my favorite movies. So, guys, what do you think about this cast? What do you think about this actual concept?
Yeah, what do we know about this movie?
Yeah,
really?
I don't know much about it.
Exactly. All I know is that people shrink themselves and
to save on.
We already
resources
talked
in the
about
future.
Ant-Man. Come on, we got
I know, right? But with an Alexander Payne.
I mean, that's all you had to say to me right there.
Yes. And this is something that's interesting because he's always doing kind of these very character-driven movies. And this seems very out of his wheelhouse, but
he's never done sci-fi before.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this like what's that movie in the future that was that the judge did? Oh God, what is that? No.
My name is Judge.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy was like that.
The Judge. There you go.
Yeah, the Judge. I call him the Judge because he's pretty awesome. So is it that kind of world where it's just like dirty, kind of vision. What is that?
Or like a Spike Jonze type future, sort of.
Maybe, maybe. I mean, I think he could go there. I think he could do it well. But I'm like, are we getting Ant-Man the prequel here?
I keep thinking of this as like Alexander Payne's being John Malkovich or something.
Yes, good. That's nice.
Anybody's being John Malkovich sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander Payne. I love Election. Descendants was my favorite movie that year that came out. I mean, I thought it was wonderful and. I love this cast. I mean, Matt Damon's been doing a lot of really cool stuff, I mean, he does have Bourne, but I'm really excited for The Martian. And he's one of those guys. He's one of those actors when he picks to do something, he doesn't have to pick a garbage script. He can pick whatever he wants.
Yeah. Well,
and so if he's going to do something, usually you're like, okay. On the other hand, got like Jason Sudeikis, where he's funny and stuff, but he doesn't have the Matt Damon script coming in. So when Alexander Payne sends a script to Matt Damon, and Matt Damon says yes, and Reese Witherspoon, another Oscar winner, says yes, you're like, okay.
Baldwin's doing a lot of cool work recently. He's got Mission Impossible 5. He's got the NFL concussion movie, a Cameron Crowe movie.
I can't wait for that movie.
He's working overtime,
and he's always good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true too.
His politics aside, guys. I mean, I just love him in everything he does. And that's
and Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, coming off Gone Girl. Nice to see him get another major role.
Yeah, and hosting the Oscars in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, and when are we getting these Oscar nominations? By the way, is it
the 15th? Right?
Yeah,
15th. I'm excited.
I'll be sleeping. It's going to be beautiful.
What are you going to be hoping for when you wake up?
Oh man,
what's like your top 1 or 2?
I honestly haven't even thought about it that much.
Okay.
I swear to God.
You don't get swept up in the awards game.
Yeah, I really just sort of put it aside. And I did my top 10 this year, and it was like... I don't even remember. Oh, Boyhood. I would like Boyhood to get a bunch of nominations, I guess. We'll say that was my favorite movie.
It will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be fun.
Do you know what I really want and I really hope happens? Jake Gyllenhaal, Best Actor.
That'd be cool.
I think he's in. I think the question right now is whether Nightcrawler gets in as a Best Picture.
Yeah.
And it has gotten all the Guild recognitions, basically, except for DGA.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I guess that hasn't come out
all the
yet.
best movies I think of this year are pretty much, nice. Are pretty much all we're all agreed upon. It's Nightcrawler, it's Whiplash, it's Boyhood, it's Grand Budapest, it's all these movies, and they're all undoubtedly the best movies. But it's kind of already, oh god, it's the same.
A little bit, yeah.
movies.
I think it's wide open though.
It is. I mean, which is cool. I mean, but after the Globes, whatever wins at the Globes this weekend, and then once the nominations come out, I think within like 3 days we'll know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how it happens.
Let me throw this out there. And by the way, guys, we are live. Did you know that? We are live right now.
Woohoo.
People are watching, commenting. Thanks for joining us, guys, on YouTube. You can go to Popcorn Talk on the YouTube channel. There's a little live action happening. And we got thoughts on Interstellar voted both most overrated movie of 2014 and the best, according to Metacritic. I'm ashamed, but I still haven't seen Interstellar.
Really?
Who
let you host this show?
I don't know who let me
It's just the
host
new
this
Christopher
show.
Nolan movie.
Yeah,
I saw him last night. By the way, he was at Black Hat.
He grabbed your other cheek.
We tried to get a photo
The backside.
Yeah,
I was a little intimidated.
I would have been. I saw him at a premiere once, and I really wanted to just be like, Mr. Nolan, why don't you talk to the online press, but in like a more respectful way.
Right.
But I just saw him in his suit, and I was like, I can't talk to him. I can't even talk to the guy.
yeah, that would put me speechless if I saw him.
Yeah.
But what is this? Why is Interstellar getting most overrated and the best?
I think it's overrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's probably rated where it should be. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I don't think it's Oscar worthy or anything like that, but I really enjoyed it. It's probably overrated because of Nolan, because the expectations were so high going in.
That's
and
my
the fact
point.
that it's not in this conversation with the best 15 movies of the year that everybody sort of agrees on.
Yeah.
I think that now that's sort of that's where it should have been, is what everybody wanted.
I would say that the same is happening with Gone Girl. Even though Gone Girl I loved, I wanted to be nominated for everything. It's one of my favorites of the year. But it's like David Fincher, before all these movies came out, it was Interstellar and Gone Girl are going to be like the top. And now we're having this conversation with Birdman, Whiplash, Foxcatcher, all these different movies, Imitation Game. Do you think Gone Girl is going to be up there? I mean, I think Interstellar is not going to get much of anything, maybe visual
It'll do
effects.
technical stuff, yeah, for sure.
Gone Girl, I think, has a chance for Best Picture, Best Actress, definitely.
Yes.
But I don't know about anything else.
I don't know if it will get into Best Picture.
I don't think so.
I liked the movie enough, but it didn't even make my top 25 just because when I was looking at everything else, I was just like, oh, I like that movie, but I like this a little more. And I really like, and I think that actually is because I read the book, and so the big twist of the movie didn't work on me like it would somebody else. But I think it's incredibly well made, and if it got nominated, I'd be like, oh, cool, I'm glad for Fincher, I'm glad for everybody who made that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stick with me like a Whiplash, like a Nightcrawler.
And it's interesting because last night we were on the main show, we were talking about the best of 2014, and we did not talk about Gone Girl. I know a lot of you out there were tweeting us, and thank you guys. So I want to chat about it here. I know there people love it, and I'm going to just keep saying this. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's so damn good. I hope it gets in there, but I see all your points. It's probably not. Sadly,
Yeah, it's
sadly,
a long
guys.
shot. You never know, though.
Yeah. So what else do we have out there, guys? So
I got a call from Nick Refn this week.
I know. Talk about that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, I got a tip about Elle Fanning doing his next movie, Neon Demon, which is a female-driven horror movie.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
was haranguing her reps, and finally they just threw up their hands. They're like, what, deal with Nick Refn.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And so he called and he was like, you are right. Elle Fanning, she is super cool Wonder Woman. and they let me go with it. So
Nice.
I think it's really cool. I like Elle Fanning a lot. I think it means that she's probably not doing the X-Men movie.
That's right, yeah.
Which is another one of your scoops, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, just to update people on that short list, they've still been testing girls.
Yeah.
For Jean Grey.
Right, for
Yeah.
Jean Grey. It's not going to be Chloe Moretz either.
Yeah.
I did Chloe, Elle, and Haley of the three right now. Haley, I would say, is the front runner, but they could also be looking at a bunch of other girls.
Yeah, I mean, out of those three, obviously Haley would be third. And what's crazy about Haley Steinfeld, right, is that we all loved her in True Grit, and then sort of fell off the map. So did a bunch of other stuff, did like Romeo and Juliet and stuff. And I'm like way over the moon excited for Pitch Perfect 2. Mm-hmm. But everything I'm hearing about the movie is that it's great. She's not.
Interesting.
And I've heard that like the movie tested incredibly well, but that they were sort of passed the baton from Anna Kendrick to Haley Steinfeld, and I heard that maybe she wasn't testing that well, and that they were like, "Ooh, let's re-edit this and maybe throw Anna a little more cash."
Well,
I don't know. Again,
that's interesting because when she joined Pitch Perfect 2, I was surprised because it didn't feel like her kind of thing. To me, she's not bubblegum.
Right.
Right. Well, I think she can be. I think she was still young. I mean, like, I'm glad she didn't get Katniss because that would have been a different franchise when she was there.
Yeah.
But I mean, as Jean Grey, I mean, maybe I will say. I mean, she's great. She's a very good actress, but I think she's still trying to figure out sort of who she is as an actress.
Okay, interesting.
We'll see.
Interesting.
So yeah, and I think you're going to see a bunch of other cool young actresses join that Refn movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think that there's a few of them.
I'm interested to see him do a horror movie. This is going to be fun. I mean, he's already pretty much done horror movies.
Sure, only God Forgives had some pretty crazy shit in it.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Something I wanted to talk about, which is interesting with the news out there.
Oh, Felicia
Rashad cast as, is this done deal?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
it is.
So she's cast as Apollo Creed's widow, right?
Yep.
And there was a question on the live feed here: is Michael B. Jordan actually Apollo's son? Is that
he is?
grandson?
Which is so weird.
I confirmed this yesterday because there was a lot of confusion because I had multiple people saying that she's going to be playing his mother.
Okay.
But then also saying she's the widow, and I'm like, but I thought he was the grandson.
Why didn't they just bring back the actress who played Apollo's wife? I mean, maybe she's not even alive anymore. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, Felicia Rashad's a good actress, but it's like, and more of a name.
Yeah.
I'll trust Ryan Coogler because I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is like his number one passion project.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
It's awesome, but it's so cool that like he was like, what do you want to do at Fruitvale? And he's like, I want to make a Rocky movie about Apollo Creed's son. And you're like, fuck yes. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and he's making it with Stallone. Like, it's the best.
The cast is great. They got Tessa Thompson from Dear White People to play what I imagine is Michael's love interest.
Sure. And it's Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that Stallone's coming back. I mean, he's look, this is another Rocky movie, essentially. I mean, we got Rocky.
To me, the age thing works. Were you questioning it?
No, it still seems weird. I saw what you said, but like, I think what I'm more questioning is that, I mean, obviously the Rocky movies didn't follow Apollo, but Apollo's around and he didn't really have, like, kids or he wasn't like, he's like, oh, when I was 20 years old,
I thought they did show 2 kids. Did they not show 2 kids?
I don't remember. I'm just thinking.
I heard that. I think that showed up on my Twitter feed yesterday. Someone mentioned that there were 2 kids that
were there. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember Drago killing him. That's it. I mean, he just gets the lights knocked out of him.
Bell rung.
And then Felicia Rashad does not show up in that scene.
No, she doesn't.
She's not like,
Apollo. Yeah, throw the towel. No, I'm excited about that. I find it very interesting that it came out right on the heels, like literally the day after she puts her foot in her mouth.
Sure. Well, I mean, Roger Friedman was probably bugging her about that, and she gave up the goods. Just a nice scoop by Roger.
And to maybe move it off her a little bit. It's not like that scoop is going to change what she said about Bill, but at the same time, it was like, got her name in a little bit of a different light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I personally, again, politics, I try to separate them, look at the work. She's awesome. I think that's a good cast, good grab. So I'm excited. And
a lot of good boxing movies coming up between that and then Miles Teller has one and Jake Gyllenhaal has one.
Yeah.
So,
and can we talk about Jake Gyllenhaal and that image from Southpaw?
Yeah, he looks
crazy.
I mean, I can't even. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy is awesome.
But didn't he for like Nightcrawler not eat for ever to get into that sort of weird creepy thing? From there, it's not that difficult to get ripped. I think if you're if you're already on a diet. I mean, which I'm not downplaying.
He looks like gigantic. I mean, he showed me because I interviewed him like a couple months ago, and he showed me those photos, and he showed me the trailer like a sales reel. So I've seen that body in motion. It's not like he was like in Nightcrawler mode and then got ripped.
Yeah,
he's huge. He's like Bradley Cooper snipered out.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of cool boxing movies on the horizon.
That's great. I love me a sports movie. I get in a lot of fights this year because I love Draft Day.
Yeah,
I loved Draft Day.
I think you got to be a football fan to really push it over the edge.
I think so, and I just love sports movies.
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Just like and this was a pretty good underdog story.
Yeah, it's really good.
From the back office.
Could I do a rant real fast?
Yeah,
sure.
If I may.
Phil,
you can say no, by the way.
Voice,
of course.
Yes, Phil.
I feel Draft Day, one of the most underrated movies of the year. I love it simply because there's that moment, and I don't really want to spoil too much, but at the end where he goes, "Hey, if you want to fire me, do it in 5 5 minutes. You want to quit? Do it in 5 minutes. Now, everybody shut the F up and let me do my job.
Yes.
I feel like that every day.
Well said, Phil. And I
This
agree.
guy's a scene stealer. He's a podcast
I
stealer.
know.
Jumps
I
right
like it.
in.
Hey, Phil, you can always talk, man. You always have
Let's
some good
switch
points.
places, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
There's
Come on
space.
out here. Jeff's gonna run the booth. I agree. I love that movie.
Yeah, so I'll still defend it. I think it's really
I
fun.
really liked it. I could not get that caught up in a fake draft.
yeah.
But it ended up being very similar to the real draft.
Sure,
In weird ways with the Browns making trades, etc.
Would you say that? Are you saying that because it's the Cleveland Browns and it's like that this
Right.
is
If
totally
it was
fake?
the Patriots drafting, it's a whole different movie.
There you go.
It was supposed to be the Bills, and my friends, Bills fans, were real excited. And
Kevin
I guess
Costner
they
is
wouldn't
Bill
do it.
Belichick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was supposed to be the Bills.
Yeah, I guess in the original Blacklist script it was, but
Okay. Interesting. So why don't we switch gears and let's go a little light and fluffy with this exclusive that you dropped just the other day.
Which one?
Pete's Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, Wes Bentley. I mean, I don't know what role he's going to be playing, but
I'm trying to think. Okay, so we're getting a Pete's Dragon remake, guys. I know we're Meet the Movie Press. We're going to talk about it all, okay? And we're going to freaking talk about Pete's Dragon because I grew up with that movie and I love it. And it's the one, guys. You've seen it. It's the animated dragon that only Elliot can. Not, is it? No, Elliot is the name of the dragon.
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it in
Pete
a long
is his
time.
yeah.
name.
I was going to say, wait, what?
Derp.
Elliot.
Yeah, I know. I'm in an ET mood, which, by the way, because
You mentioned
found
the poster.
I mentioned the poster. I also found the original treatment for ET2, Nocturnal Fear, and
wow.
read that the other day.
my God.
And it was awful. Thank God that didn't get made. But
David Lowery's doing the Pete's Dragon movie, right?
right, and I didn't know Robert Redford was in it. And I'm thinking he's playing I forget his name. Guys, who's out there?
Schmoville, help Mark.
You're on YouTube right now. Who played? It's the Rooney? Mickey Rooney? What? Mickey Rooney? No,
I
not
don't
Mickey
remember.
Rooney. No, it's what's his name? Got Pete's Dragon.
Rooney
Talk
Mara.
about the raid guys in
right.
Star Wars. Okay, we will. Yeah, I don't know who it. I can't remember, but I'm thinking Robert Redford is going to be playing the lighthouse owner. The old man lighthouse owner who
That sounds
takes
about
in
right.
the orphan Pete.
He's not mocapping the dragon.
I probably. I hear it's Andy Serkis.
I just like the idea that Disney's going, kind of digging up an old library title that can definitely, not a classic by any means, that that's untouchable.
Yeah, and for a while we went back and forth on this. I remember a while ago we both were kind of sniffing around that Amy Adams was going to be.
Right.
And is she in it?
No.
Yeah.
Who did they end up going with? Was it Jen Garner or something?
For which one?
Pete's Dragon?
Yeah,
I know.
We're
I
really
zoned out for a
pulling-
second there with the Pete's Dragon talk.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys.
It's
I
all
just
right.
wanted
Hey,
to-
you got to indulge.
Yeah, Wes, I'm giving what the fans want. No, they want to talk
What is this?
about
Pete's
the raid
Dragon,
guys and
Pete's
Star Wars.
Dragon, Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
It's the best.
So, all right, that's enough of that. I
What
guess.
else we got?
No, guys, let's talk about the raid guys in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of comments here.
That was cool news.
Very cool news.
Yeah, man.
Now, I know you're a Star Wars fan.
Big time, yeah.
Me too. So we heard rumors that Andy Serkis is kind of the guy running these mocap, the parkour guys, like villains or Sith or whoever it may
Right.
be. Now, the fact that they cast Raid 2 martial artist, is there any kind of...
They might be
add a little credence to this?
Well, Serkis said that there's no parkour in the movie, which is weird though because they cast a kid named Pip Anderson, who is legitimately like one of the best parkour people in the world.
See, there you go.
But at the same time, we had heard independently of the Twitch Film Scoop that they had hired the two guys who were the fight choreographers, who were both two of the three actors as well, to fight choreograph a scene, one of the action scenes in the movie. We heard that before the scoop. So I don't know if they're going to be, with Andy Serkis' villain character or with the Kylo Ren or stormtroopers. I don't know, but I do know that one of the scenes in the movie now will be some sort of hand-to-hand badass combat, which is kind of weird. It's like if they do that, there's got to be a lightsaber involved.
I think that's the only really
Can you imagine
combat.
the raid with lightsabers? Oh my god!
I think the memes are already out there.
Yeah.
I
know.
And to me, it's just so cool because the Raid 2 is just amazing action. As we all know, it's made a ton of top 10 lists out there.
Yeah, it made mine.
Mine as well.
Yeah, and to have these guys come in, I mean, this was like one of the it blew up the site when I posted this. I mean, people were like, Raid Star Wars, me freak out.
Yeah, and it's a great tribute to JJ saying like, no, we're doing a lot of practical stuff here, guys, but you know, so because those guys don't like fake that stuff, you know, like they really go hard, and it's pretty great. What I find weird though is that like they're done shooting. I'm sure they'll do some reshoots at some point, but like that news came out so late is kind of weird. Maybe Todd had been sitting on it.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, as out of respect to those guys who he's worked with before.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. Yeah.
Or could this be post? Could these guys be motion captured? I mean, could they be putting on some green suits with some balls all over them?
I think so, but then why do it? Like, why cast them? I mean, like, because then you could do that in a computer.
Yeah, they were shot months ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I think too. And so,
but who knows if we're going to see their faces, or you know, are they going to be some weird like?
I'd be surprised if we did actually.
Inquisitors? Are they going to be stormtroopers?
I think they could be stormtroopers who get into badass. Like, I mean, can you imagine stormtroopers? Like,
they would be. It's very bulky. Very bulky.
Yeah, let's get rid of the whole stormtrooper that they can't shoot straight, and let's make them badass.
And they all just fall back with, you know, like make them. Well, they're going. I mean, like these chrome troopers in the movie. I don't want to get too spoilery, but like they look pretty. Like you don't look like that without being a badass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it would be great to actually see some stormtroopers kicking some ass for once. You know?
Yeah. Phil, what do we got? 5 more minutes?
Yeah, about that.
About 5 minutes. Okay. Open the table up for discussion.
I'm trying to think what else hit this week.
Yeah, it was pretty good week, but nothing.
What'd you guys think of the Deadpool castings?
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. I like what's his name? TJ Miller. TJ Miller. No,
yeah, and I from what I understand, he is still sort of deciding on whether he really wants to do it. I think that he may be getting a little wary of being comic relief.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah,
but you know, he's also really good at it.
You gotta stick with what you're good with,
and again, it gives you a spot in the X-Men universe since it is a shared universe, right? So
yeah, I like the. I didn't really like get too excited about that because at the same point, it's like a Deadpool movie is so just Deadpool, and then once they figure out a villain. That's pretty much all I need to know, you know, like, and we'll see. Like, the supporting cast around it is interesting, I guess, to a point, but I don't really care as much. I was more excited about the fact that they, you know, gave a release date to Gambit.
Yeah, right.
You know, that was really cool. I was like, it's like, oh wow, this is happening now. Channing Tatum's gonna star as Gambit in a movie. That's crazy.
That's really cool to me. And I mean, look, Channing Tatum, say what you will. Well, he's been rearranging his image lately with all the parts he's doing. He's gonna kill it as Gambit. I'm sorry, I'm just such a fan of that guy now.
It'll be interesting to see who they get to direct.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
are you guys hearing anything about a director?
I haven't heard anything.
I mean, I know it's Schuler Donner is really behind this project, so I'm hoping.
And knowing Fox, it'll be John Moore.
But you got to think that the fact that they give a release date means the script is at least, you know, serviceable at the moment, which is good.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
These studios make announcements without scripts and set dates and.
But this was like a 2016 date. You know, it's sort of a movie that they got to start shooting in a little bit.
Do we know who wrote that script or no?
Yeah, it's out there. I don't remember. It's been a couple of rewrites, but it's out there somewhere.
I don't know.
And what about Scarlett Johansson as Ghost in the Shell?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised at first, and then I'm like, well, it makes sense. I mean, she is killing it in every aspect of her career.
Sure, absolutely.
So, I mean, it just makes sense. She's the go-to
She's a female,
action star.
yeah. She's the female action hero du jour and a great actress. And it's funny, I'm really, really not up on anime. I've seen like Akira, and that's about it. But like, I've heard great things about this, but I've heard people are really worried, not just about like the whitewashing aspect,
sure,
but about the studio is going to super dumb it down, but it's like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, if you guys want a Ghost in the Shell movie, you have your Ghost in the Shell movie. It's called the anime version.
Right.
Like, this is the movie that
always exists.
Yeah, it'll always exist. And then this will be for me, who wants to go and, you know, grabs popcorn and watch Scarlett Johansson kick ass for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what you'll get probably, and hopefully with some of the smarts of the anime, which I know nothing about.
Yeah, I know nothing either. What about this, guys? Getting a lot of comments here. Michael Keaton and Skull Island.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That's a good one.
Cool, yeah.
I mean,
you know, I had mentioned to you off air a rumor that I had heard about Michael Keaton. You know, I don't know that there's anything there anymore, but I think it was clear that he was looking for a sort of big blockbuster movie.
He wants a new house.
Man.
I heard. Good. Well, we got it. I mean, obviously, Beetlejuice 2 is coming. I think now, especially even more because of Birdman. Is Skull Island and then Beetlejuice?
I don't know. I mean, Beetlejuice. I mean, like Tim Burton keeps saying it's closer, but guess what? Everything is closer every day. We're all closer to death, you know, every single day.
Yeah.
So I didn't really take that too much to heart. I think he was just sort of saying what's what, but. I'm more excited. Like, Jordan Voight Roberts is awesome. I love Kings of Summer. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with this. And it's a really weird cast. They're all sort of similar, where it's Hiddleston, J.K. Simmons, and Michael Keaton in the same movie. It's like you feel like J.K. Simmons and Michael Keaton would like fight for roles, but they're in the same movie. So it'd be interesting. And like, how many humans are in this movie that knew about Kong before he was Kong? So
thank you. That's kind of where my head is at. It's like King Kong is kind of like, that's supposedly the first time anybody has seen a giant ape. So do all these guys die and they can't report back to their friends?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to see that, actually. I want the whole cast to die.
Legendary, but I'm sure Legendary would love that. Just kill off Tom Hiddleston, everybody at the end of that.
At the end of the movie, Kong just flattens him with a fist and then just
smash cut
his ass and walks away.
Smash cut to credits as like they just
Kong drum solo.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's like Bambi versus Godzilla, but Michael Keaton versus King Kong.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's a fun movie to me, guys. I know you're excited about it. I think everybody's excited about Keaton coming back into the spotlight and being awesome again.
Yeah.
So Skull Island, sure. I mean, I'm not a huge King Kong fan, but I'll see this movie. So,
all right. Well, let's leave on the note of what movie are you guys really looking forward to this year? Pick one.
Well, come on.
I think Mark and I are pretty much.
No, that's actually not allowed. That's not acceptable.
No Star Wars. Okay.
Something other than Star Wars.
All right. Other than Star Wars, and I think you got to take Avengers off the table too, because Star Wars fans.
Yeah, the two big ones are gone.
All right.
Next.
Okay.
What's
After
next?
That, I'm going to take Jurassic World off the table.
Okay, I got one.
All right.
Tomorrowland.
That was my next one.
Okay.
I wanted to jump on that.
That's fine. That's a good one.
Brad Bird is one of my favorite filmmakers all time. I think he's going to kill this. It looks good. I'm now reading stories that they might have to change the title in different countries. I don't know if it's because of the translation.
No, it's because I wrote this morning.
Oh, yeah, that was yours. Thank
it was
you.
me. Tomorrowland is actually... In the U.S., Disney owns the trademark to the word Tomorrowland.
Right.
But in other countries, Tomorrowland is a huge electronic music festival, and they own the copyright all over Europe.
Interesting.
So like they might have to change it, but they're already calling it like Tomorrowland a world away or something in some places with a little colon. Okay. So we'll see. Tomorrowland was my number 4 anticipated after those other 3. I'm gonna go with the other one, Inside Out. I'm excited to see Pixar come back.
Yeah.
And Pete Docter, and that movie just looks like, oh my god, like it's going to be like brilliant.
I love that trailer, I guess you could call it, but it's really like a scene.
That's all it is, yeah.
It's so well done, and it sets it up so beautifully.
I didn't have an answer when I asked the question, and so I'm just going to pull one out of my ass, literally. Human Centipede 3.
There it is. There it is.
I can't... What? Oh no, I can't do it. I'm not gonna.
On that note, guys,
is that it?
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, guys.
On a high note. Yeah,
on a high note. Human Centipede 3 coming soon. Guys, this has been Meet the Movie Press. Germain, thank you for stopping by. Where can the good people out there in Schmoville find you?
They can find me. I write every day on slashfilm.com and at Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff at GermainLussier.
All right, and I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of Schmoes Know. You can find me at Reilly Around on Twitter.
At the Sneider, and look for my top 10 under the radar movies list going up on the Wrap.com today.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one because
Human Centipede 3.
Jeff knows what he's talking about. Human Centipede 3 is his number 1.
That's not under the radar.
Under the something.
And I know, guys. Yes, I am looking forward to Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
But is that coming out this year?
Yeah, that's this year.
It should be.
So yeah,
you can't complain. We just mentioned like 4 movies out of like the hundreds of great movies that are coming out this year. I didn't anticipate. They're all out there.
Yeah, they're all out there. And
don't get mad.
Anytime Quentin Tarantino does a movie, guys, we're all anticipating it.
Didn't mention Crimson Peak. Didn't mention. All these
the
things.
list is endless.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The list is
going to be a great year, guys. So stay tuned to Meet the Movie Press.
Stay tuned to Meet the Movie Press, guys. Go out there on iTunes, subscribe, rate, comment, share with your friends, please. It keeps the lights on here. We love it. We love talking to you.
Right.
And check out all the websites around the horn, thewrap.com, /film.com, and schmozno.com, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week to No Music.
Yeah, for Phil.
There it is.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.